Hey guys, it's Autumn, and today we are reviewing the B watercolor paper. So I wasn't asked to review this or anything. I actually picked it up when I went shopping for art supplies the other day, and I'd heard so many nice things about it that I decided to try it. I am also using the Grumbacher Academy watercolors, or at least two new ones. I have their violet and their lemon yellow, maybe? I'm unsure about the yellow, but I do have a purple and a yellow from them as well. I am using their turquoise and the burnt umber from this series today. I use the burnt umber for the hair of the girl I'm painting and the turquoise for most of her dress. But back onto the paper, which is what I wanted to be the main focus of this. So the B watercolor paper is by B Paper Company. It is considered a professional series watercolor, and it is a 100% cotton paper. It is 6x9 or 15.2 by 22.9, depending on what measurements you use. And it was really cheap to buy. Cheap usually indicates bad, but in this case, it was fantastic. I purchased this for about $12 at Michael's when I went shopping. And the watercolor tubes were $6 a piece, which was not bad given that the Winsor Newton ones of the same size and same, or at least similar quality, were $10 a tube. So this paper is 100% cotton, which I was incredibly impressed by. I paid about $13 for this this package of 25 sheets of paper, which is incredible compared to how much I paid for the Arches watercolor paper when I bought a set of 12 sheets of that paper. I paid about $30 for the Arches and $13 for this. While the size is smaller, so it is less paper in that respect, it is so much better than the Arches watercolor paper that I've tried. Well, at least in my opinion, it's better. The Arches is extremely rough, the texture is super hard to get used to, and it absorbs so much water before it even makes the paper damp. It's very, very difficult to use. This paper, however, was incredibly easy to use, and I went in thinking that it was a cellulose paper. Or a paper made from tree, really. So I thought this was just high quality professional paper, or it was similar in style to the Canson paper that I use normally. I use the Canson XL watercolor paper in varying sizes. I only use the Arches watercolor paper if I want to paint something and make sure it doesn't wrinkle as much, although I found that that doesn't always work. But this paper only absorbed as much water as it needed to, which was very, very minimum water. I put just a little bit of water in my brush, paint, and it would wet the paper and it would stay damp for a couple of minutes, which was perfect. With the Arches, I had to continually put water on the paper to keep it wet. The paper, when it, as it had dried, it allowed me to re-wet when I needed to, but it didn't peel or do the pilling that other papers do, and it made sure that the paint stayed incredibly vibrant on the page. Other watercolor papers that I've used have taken the vibrancy out of the picture that I'm painting and caused it to become more of a gray shade, but this kept it extremely bright, making the blue, the brown, her skin tone, everything super close to the color that it was on the palette. Obviously there's a little bit of fading as it dries, but this was not a crazy amount of fading. This paper is incredibly great for someone who is looking to get into cotton paper but doesn't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on it. This is the best student available option for cotton paper that I've ever seen, and I do think for certain I will be buying this paper again when I use up what I have. It's a great size. You could use it for postcards, you could use it for little tiny portraits like what I did, and it just is so easy and easy to get a hold of that I would recommend this to any artist who's looking for a high quality cotton paper. Now on to the piece after I've gushed about this paper for nearly all of the video. This is just a tiny painting I did. I wanted to sketch something small because I don't draw small very often, and I wanted to see if I could do a sketch just on the piece of paper to see how much of the pencil I could actually remove from the paper, which is all of it, which was surprising because I was using the Prismacolor Color Erase pencil in magenta, but all of it came up when I erased it, and I was so happy about that because the Canson tends to stay in pink when you use it, as well as most of my sketchbooks. So that's another plus. If you use color erase pencils, it erases perfectly from this paper. So this piece is just supposed to be a test for the paper and the 2 new paints I bought to see the color variation, how flat they laid, that sort of thing. The burnt umber was gorgeous and I love it. The camera doesn't do it justice at all. But the turquoise is not really a turquoise, it's more of a sky blue, which upset me because I was hoping it would have more of a green shade to it, which I think is indicative by the name turquoise. But it's a student quality brand of watercolor, so I can't be too upset. Picture-wise, I think I made her lips a little too big, but again, I don't draw small very often, so I figured there was something like that I would mess up, and her hand is too small, but again, that's something I'm learning to work with. I'm very bad at hands, so hopefully in the future I can remediate that. Other than that, I love the way her eyes came out. I think her hair is really pretty. I think the body proportions came out decently. And yeah, overall, I like the piece. Obviously, I would fix the lips and the hand if I could, and I may do that in Photoshop at some point after I scan this piece, and I don't know if I'll make this one into a print. This one probably won't, unless there is popular demand for it. Oh, I also want to say my Redbubble store is in the description down below if you do want to check that out. There are only 2 prints on there right now, but I'm hoping to have the painting Pinterest people up very, very soon on my Redbubble and available for purchase. So that's all I have to say in this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Again, if you take anything away from this video, the B watercolor paper is fantastic, and I 100% recommend it to any of you young artists out there who are looking for high quality pieces of cotton paper. Thank you, and I will see you guys.
Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to check out another one over there, and if you want to see the full playlist for this series, check out over here. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!